Welcome to CallumConnects, 5-minute entrepreneurial inspiration for your day. Joining us today on CallumConnects is George Birrell. George is the founder of Tax Hub, a virtual tax prep firm that is focused on giving CPA access to startups.
The first and probably biggest hurdle we faced as a newly launched startup was finding and establishing trust with our customer base. We launched a few years ago, which coincidentally was the same year that TurboTax had the big identity theft hack, which got a lot of media attention that tax season. So having an unknown brand as we were, do your taxes was a pretty hard sell. In all honesty, we really couldn't give a tax return away. I began to question the validity of our business model. I knew we had a more efficient way of delivering a quality service, but due to lack of customers willing to trust us, I wasn't quite sure we had found product market fit. As you may have noticed, the startup and small business tax prep market is at the beginning of a rapid shift in business models. In the past, there's basically been two ways you can get your taxes done. You could either do it the DIY route with either tax software or an online SaaS product like TurboTax, or you had to bite the bullet and go to a face-to-face either mom and pop CPA shop or tax prep franchise like H&R Block. But this is all changing with the introduction of virtual CPA firm, which we're on the forefront of. In just the past few years, even the big players like TurboTax and H&R Block now offer this online hybrid virtual model that is the core of our business model. And as you know, as a bootstrap startup, we can't compete with the deep pockets of these publicly held companies. Consequently, we're using the one advantage they don't have. We're laser focused on a small market segment and plan to grow from there. These established companies are so big they can't focus on one market niche. So this is our advantage in how we have to distinguish ourselves. We actually get a lot of customers who have tried to file with these bigger companies and they were not pleased with the service, so they've come to us. Another way we distinguish our service is as a small group, we allow our tax preparers to develop relationships with the clients year after year, which this creates a much more efficient tax filing process. And it also gives the customer a much better experience. And it took us a couple years to find this niche and build trust with our potential clients. And I had to keep my full-time job, and the grind of working a full-time job coupled with the highly seasonal tax business was exhausting. During the tax season, I was averaging 90, sometimes 100 hours a week, but I knew without funding, quitting my job was a luxury I couldn't afford. We've evolved a lot since then. Nowadays, things are going well. We're solid on two very important metrics. The first is growth. Since inception, we've been averaging more than 150% year-over-year growth in revenues, and we also have a 70% customer retention rate, which is actually really high in this industry. Our growth philosophy can be summarized by a book I read called Building on Bedrock. It's by Derek Ludlow. He talks about scalability and value creation come naturally when certain fundamental structures and principles are established in an organization. So we're focusing on that. We're building a solid brand with a sustainable customer acquisition stream, and most importantly, finding a way that we can maintain a great customer experience that brings them back year after year.
The biggest hurdle I faced was when the company my partner and I built from scratch came under attack and more than $250 million of value was destroyed. If you would like to learn more about that and how I came back from it, sign up at callumlane.com.